Mexico is going to pay for the wall. Because Mexico, I love the Mexican people. I respect the Mexican leaders. But the leaders are much sharper, smarter, and more cunning than our leaders. A politician cannot get them to pay. I can.
Sup guys, boy Benny. I'm not Hispanic, but I live in a city with a huge Hispanic population. Tampa has long storied history with Cuban immigrants here in my neighborhood. A lot of my neighbors are Hispanic. I get to talk to them and you're like, well, these people are not left wing. Like, these people are not like Democrats. Like, I can't think of a single thing actually that they agree with. I was having a conversation the other day about Latinx, the term Latinx. Do you like being called Latinx? Because your language is gendered and you find that offensive? It's not like it looks like they were gonna beat the shit out of me. Like, no, they don't like being called Latinx. And yes, a lot of this population is like Christian family values, like traditional values kind of population, right? That's at least what I experience here in Florida. And maybe that's why Florida continues to go red and even redder. And maybe the other reason why Florida continues to go red is because Donald Trump releases videos like this for his Spanish voters. Ay, 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 por Dios. Yo voy a votar por Donald Trump. La buena vida por Trump. La economía por Trump. Hazlo por tu familia. Latinos por Donald Trump. Ay, 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 por Dios.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, he didn't even need it, but Donald Trump also loves the taco bowl. Okay? This is all you need. What else do you need? You got the taco bowl. You got Donald Trump dancing to Latin music. And what else can you possibly want? This is, of course, my favorite tweet of all time. There is no better tweet. It's Donald Trump with his taco bowl. And this is a photo of his ex-wife, Marla Maples, in a bikini. It's real. This is totally real. 94,000 retweets, 134,000 likes. It's greatest tweet ever. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Best taco bowls are made in Trump Tower. I love Hispanics. Yes. What a world. What a life. This guy became president. I think he'll become president again. And, well, Hispanics are really liking Donald Trump policies. New exclusive poll from Axios. Latino support for border wall deportation jumps. Oh, yeah. The percentage of Latinos who say that they are in support of building a border wall and deporting all undocumented immigrants has jumped by at least 10 points since 2021, according to the latest Axios poll in partnership with Telemundo. Why it matters, the findings suggest that Donald Trump's calls for border security and perhaps his anti-immigrant rhetoric are registering among people who have ties to immigration. But we all have ties to immigration, you morons. Everyone is an immigrant into this country. It's just the vast majority of us came legally, and we don't like the ones who cheated and skipped the line and came here illegally. Makes for a bad country. The findings also reflect the frustration that has made illegal immigration the top election year issue for Americans. Bad thing for this to be the top issue. The poll arrives as Trump criticism, blah, blah, blah. Trump has promoted set up border security if he returns. White House plans mass deportations that could involve 1 million people and should involve, if you came here illegally, yes. President Biden, after taking the political beating over the border security, now saying he'd be willing to close the border. Oh, really? By the numbers, 42% of Latino adults surveyed said they support building a wall. 42%. That's the margin of error. So that means the preponderance of Latinos say they support the border wall. 38% support sending all undocumented immigrants in the United States back to their country of origin, up from 28%. In addition, 64% of Latinos say that they support giving the president the authority to shut the U.S. borders if there are too many immigrants trying to enter the country. First time surveyed asked that question, and everyone supports it. Support for building a wall was strongest among Cuban Americans based, who are generally more conservative than other Latinos who benefited from decades of Cold War era special treatment on immigration. Support for border wall is lowest among Mexican immigrants and Mexican Americans. Only 43% of Central Americans support building the wall. Still, like, really high, actually. Despite the rising number of Latinos who say anybody in the U.S. illegally should be deported, the strong majority, 65%, still favor providing them with a path to citizenship rather than deporting them. 59% allow the refugees fleeing crime and violence in Latin America to claim asylum in the U.S. This is exactly what they are, the loophole that they are using. They lie and say that they are asylum seekers. Now, this is on the heels of some other shocking information about Donald Trump. Trump wipes out Biden's lead with Latinos in 2024 survey. In a new CNBC All-American survey, Donald Trump has a 5-point lead with Latinos. Never seen that before. Trump leads Biden by 2 points and is winning Hispanics and young voters for the first time. In the first poll of 2024, 17% say they will vote for a third candidate. Donald Trump is winning with Hispanic voters. Isn't that incredible? Young voters. Donald Trump is winning and winning with overall voters. Man, it is scary times, ladies and gentlemen, to be a Democrat. Hispanic voters are curving. That curve is a very good trend for Republicans, a very bad trend for Democrats. Not great. And obviously there's nothing great in these polls, right? Black voters, white voters, everybody is leaving the Democrat Party because there's nothing good about the Democrat Party. It is a absolute cluster F. Even criminal aliens in our country, so undocumented illegal aliens, don't know this guy, CNN interviewed him, are saying, I want Donald Trump. This dude says, I want Donald Trump because I like nationalism. I like people who are proud and who are strong. So I don't even care what Donald Trump says. I want Trump as a strong leader. This is a remarkable clip. Watch.
Indocumentado. Si yo pudiera votar en este momento, votaría por Donald Trump. Él es nacionalista y quiere que este país esté bien. Aquí nacieron mis hijos y quiero que mis hijos estén bien.
¿Y por qué más? Why else?
No votaría por Joe Biden por este motivo. Joe Biden tiene al país hecho un desastre económicamente.
What would you tell Democrats who think that all immigrants are going to be on their side?
Dejen de pensar que los inmigrantes somos ignorantes. Los demócratas son la monja bondadosa que te encuentras en la calle, que te dice que te va a ayudar, pero cuando tiene el poder para hacerlo, se le olvida la promesa que te hizo.
¿Y para los republicanos, for Republicans?
Dejen ya de ser la monja diabólica que anda aterrorizando a nuestra comunidad de inmigrantes. No somos criminales, somos personas buenas que venimos a trabajar buscando una mejor vida. Los republicanos nos utilizan como la piñata electoral. Ellos tienen la culpa de todos, son los culpables de las violaciones, son los culpables del consumo de drogas, pero es una gran mentira.
He says he wants Donald Trump to win. ¿Por qué quiere que gane Donald Trump? Why?
Él es racista y claro que no me gusta que sea racista y claro que no me gusta la retórica antimigrante de Donald Trump, pero finalmente, al final es pura politiquería. Algunos me van a juzgar, oye, es que tú quieres que gane Donald Trump. Pues es que es nacionalista, por eso quiero que gane. Y los nacionalistas aman a su país.
That remains obviously consistent with legal immigrants, right? So Nevada voter who is a legal immigrant saying, why do you support Donald Trump? Well, the economy. Like, that's why people come here.
Lydia Dominguez, who's from El Paso and moved to Vegas about 5 years ago, is all in for Trump. I asked her why she thinks more and more Latinos are joining her.
Because they see what's happening with our economy. They know what the gas prices were, even in 2020. We weren't born yesterday. We recognize that all of the immigrants coming in through our border is not helping. It's causing crime. I grew up.
CNN has a on-air panic attack when facing these numbers and realities with Latino voters. And, well, it's pretty remarkable segment here from CNN. Love this guy, Harry Enton. He's like such a no-nonsense, no-bullshit artist. And, yeah, spitting facts in Anderson Cooper's face.
You might think, that Hispanic voters might be the types of folks who would have a backlash against Donald Trump's remarks, right? Ain't the case. If you ask Hispanic voters who do they trust more on border security and immigration, overwhelmingly, they trust Donald Trump more by a tremendous margin. Look at that, 49% to 24%. And that is in line with what we're seeing in the polls in general amongst Hispanics, right? Joe Biden won them overwhelmingly back in 2020, won them by over 20 percentage points. Democrats normally carry them overwhelmingly. If you look at the polling right now, and an average of polling amongst Hispanic voters, who did they choose in the ballot test? It's barely Biden by about 2 points. It would be the smallest margin for any Democratic candidate among Hispanic voters basically throughout history since we started polling the gosh darn thing. So the fact is, at this point, there's no backlash, and at this point, I don't see one coming.
So, yeah, if you're looking at the final kind of face of why people wouldn't vote for Joe Biden, look no further than Stephen A. Smith. And I'm amazed at the number of Stephen A. Smith videos that we do here because, well, he used to be kind of a far left critical race theory activist lib, but now he's like going hard in the paint against Joe Biden. And why is he doing it? Because of the open border, because of immigration. And he straight up says it again on CNN. He straight up says it. Like, the reason why minorities are abandoning the Democrat Party is because they believe that they are not being served by this party, and more importantly, they are being replaced by this party that has an agenda, and it's not good for minority voters. Yeah, check it out.
And when you're talking about an election, you're talking about whatever it's going to take to win. You have a whole bunch of American citizens who firmly believe that what he's saying is the reality in their eyes. They look at footage, they look at things that are transpiring over the television airways, the kind of things that are being disseminated to the masses, and they're literally scared. You have people talking about there's an immigration crisis, and they're showing one piece of footage after another after another. I can tell you, as a black man from Hollis, Queens, New York City, I have never in my lifetime heard black folks allude to there being an immigration crisis more than now. Evidently, it's working. You know that it's working with an abundance of white Americans.
Do you think that this is a message that actually right now, I know that it's intended to resonate with black voters, but you think it's actually working?
Absolutely. And let me tell you something right now. I've got a lot of Hispanic friends, brothers and sisters in the Latino community. They're talking about it because they came over here legally. They didn't come across, America's lines illegally. And as a result, they're talking about it's an immigration crisis. They're talking about how people need to get in line. They're talking about how people need to come in here legally. They're saying that about their own folks. And so when you take that into consideration, and then you're looking at black folks who have been speaking about it, and then you think about inflation, and you think about immigration, and you think about New York City and the $53 million prepaid cards and what have you, black folks are sitting back and saying, wait a minute, what about us? What about us? Once again, we're at the bottom of the food chain. Whether it's xenophobia, it's homophobia, it's transphobia, or anything else, everything seems to be more important than black people in the eyes of a lot of black people. And when you've got somebody like Trump, he's reminding everybody what he said years ago. What do you have to lose? Excuse me, that kind of stuff resonates with some. Maybe not me, maybe not you, but there's a whole bunch of people out there in the streets of America that's hardworking, that's going to work every day, that's trying to make ends meet, pay their bills and what have you. That stuff resonates with them, and they don't want to see anything distracting anybody from their problems. And when you go to the polls, what do you think about? You think about what affects you, not what affects America far more often than not.